It is Sophia. Hey guys, it is Sophia the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm going to be doing my book review on The Winds of War by HerMan Wouk. I really enjoyed this book. This is the second time I've read it, and I understand why I needed to reread it because I read this, I guess it was about a year and a half ago, and I really enjoyed it, but this time I enjoyed it more because it took me 8 days to finish it, and that's why I stayed up till 2 a.m. this morning finishing it. And I read it was 180 pages, and I stayed up till almost 2:30 to finish it. But it was really worth it because there was some interesting plot twists at the end of it. I like how the characters developed and about their families and how they all came together at the end of it, at the end of the war, and how they were separated through the war. And it had some really great parts about the title intertwining with the book. If you guys have this book, please leave your comments down below. So this is called The Henry Family. This is book 1. I have book 2 as well. And I want to try to read both of them this month. We'll see. Maybe I'll read the next one next month. But I definitely want to read this. He is a very interesting and a very good writer, but I feel it's very dry and it's very slow. But it's also very detailed. So I like how detailed it is, and all the characters in it, and I like that it's detailed. It's just a little slow for me. I could have used it to be picked up, and the words are really tiny. Look how tiny they are. So I'm going to read you some of the best parts in the end of the book for you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Well, it's going to be the very end right here. So at the end of it, there's a letter that the husband is writing to his wife. And it's talking about how the Winds of War, how they affected them, how they've taken them apart from each other, and all of that. And so it was very interesting to see that. I love when the title of the book really comes in well with the story, and with this it did very well. So okay, here we go. The life that we've been leading in recent years has put a strain on our marriage. I recognize that I have recently felt the strain myself. In Manila, I said to Byron that we've become a family of tumbleweeds. That's the truth. And lately, the winds of war have been blowing us all around the world. Right now, it strikes me that those some winds are what we have, mainly each other. Starting to flatten civilization, all the more reason for us to hang on to what we have, mainly each other and our family, and to love each other to the end. That's why I worked it out. I hope that on further through you will too. I'll probably be at sea most of the time for the next year or two, so I can't make the immediate effort to mend matters that seem urgently called for. Here's how I'm compelled to leave it. I'm ready to forget or try to that you ever wrote the letter, or to talk it over with you on my next stateside leave, or if you're absolutely certain you want to go ahead with it, to sign the papers and to do what you wish. But I'll put up a hell of a fight first about that. I have no intention of simply letting you go. In plain words, I want two things, Rhonda. First, your happiness. Second, if at all possible, that we go on together. I've seen a bit of war, and he's turned into a splendid officer. He has everything. His future is limitless, and he has the brains, drive, acuteness, toughness, and sheer ability to become chief of naval operations. Byron has come along too. We've been fortunate in our sons. I know they're facing hazards, but the whole world's in hazard, and at least my boys are serving. I don't know what went wrong with Madeline. I'm kind of sick about that, and I don't promise to dwell on it. If the fellow wants to marry her, that may clean up the mess as much as anything can. If not, he'll be hearing from me. You're right to say that your news would hurt less because of my orders to the California. In a peculiar fashion, it's working out that way. Ever since I flew into Pearl Harbor on that clipper after seeing Make and Midway in flames, I've been living on a straight diet of disaster. Your letter almost fit into something normal, almost. I'm a family man and a one-woman man, Rhonda. You know all that. Maybe I'm kind of a fossil, a film that's outlived its time. Even so, I can only act by my lights while I last. My impression was and remains that Fred Kirby, despite what happened, is much the same sort of fellow. If I'm right about that, thing will not work out for you in the long run, and you had better extricate yourself now. That's as an honest judgment as I can give you. Victor is a handsome baby, and Janice is a good mother and very pretty. Our other grandson looks unbelievably like Bernie. As an infant, I'm enclosing a snapshot I picked up in Moscow from Natalie's old friend Slot. I hate to part with it, but you want to see it, I know. Let's hope to God she got herself and that kid safely out of Italy before Mussolini declared war. Jocko Larkin sends his love. He's fat and sleek. That's about it. Now I'm going to start earning my salary. I trust by fighting war. Love, Pug. So that's just an incredible letter that kind of talks about the whole story in this. And it's very interesting. And so every other chapter there's a newspaper article in here that's written by one of the main characters. And I really liked one of the things he wrote at the end of it. So this was a great book. I highly recommend it if you guys love history. Now this was fiction, but it did not feel like fiction to me. It was so heavy and weighty, and I liked that about it. But I was also supposed to be a little bit less dense because it was fiction, but it wasn't. But I think it was a good thing. Okay, where's that part? Okay, that's too far. Trying to find this letter. I should have marked it. But I didn't want to mark out the post notes because this is fiction, and so I'm like, I don't want to do this for fiction. So here we go. On the historical record, Adolf Hitler was certainly the worst liar, double-crosser, destroyer, and mass murderer in the world's annals. Rumor might have mentioned the facts on Hitler's blemishes. VH. Okay, so here's the other part I wanted to read. It says, no truthful history of our nation will ever be written which does not face the fact he had his faults, including a definite taste for cruelty, a certain ingrained burgos vulgarity, an exaggerated opinion of his military acumen, and well-known regrettable tendency to anti-Semitism. Such for the blemishes of this world historical individual, but no human being is perfect. Runes summarizes from a second volume have recently appeared in Germany under the title World Holocaust. Amazingly, mainly Germany's defeat and downfall, it has been much of a success. His concluding estimate of Hitler overlooks one of the two small points. This able and resident homicidal maniac using modern Germany as his murder instrument directly caused between 25 and 35 million human deaths. The exact figure will never be known. To stop him cost war billions, even maybe trillions of dollars. How the German people shut this strange individual away in an insane asylum instead of setting him up as their adored leader, throwing their full strength behind him for 12 years, those deaths and wastes would not have occurred. That was very hard to think that's true. If they would have not given Hitler, they would have not given him the power, and for 12 years he would have not murdered all those millions of people. So this was an incredible book. I loved the storytelling, the characters, how it wrapped around several different families and their stories and their friends and their relationships and their kids and their marriages. If you guys have read this book, please leave your comments down below. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time in another one. Goodbye.